In a previous video, we looked at an array of objects, and we looked at how the property for each of those elements in that array was individual and specific to that element. That means that having the array of objects, that our data would never get confused with another element's object's data, or if I just had two objects out there independent of one another. And it's referred to as an instance property because it is specific to that instance. However, sometimes I need to be able to easily share data that is amongst all my objects. This is known as a static property. And a static property has the same value that is automatically shared, and in fact, this value itself is shared. It's very easy to create this because I want this to be private data. And say static int, and I'm going to do a count of objects. Now, you might be thinking, well, what would I want to do this for? Well, if I need to ever keep a track of how many objects I created and how many have been created across the instances of my complex program that I've written, this would be a good place to track it. Every object is going to have access to this specific variable. And in fact, I can access this variable if no objects are created. However, at this point, we haven't done very much. All we've done is we've defined it. Usually, this property should be set to 0. However, in Visual Studio, we do need to go one step further. So I'm going to go into my circle.cpp file. And up at the top, I'm going to specify int, use my class definition, specify count of objects, and inside of some braces, put my initial starting value. In this case, 0, because I have none created. Now I can come down here and specify count of objects ++. Anytime I create a new object, I'm going to increment my counter. I'm going to do the same in my other constructor. And when I build this, I get no errors whatsoever. There are a couple of things I need to let you know about. Any method whatsoever can access a static property, just as we saw here in the constructor. However, I can also have a static method. Come here to Circle H. In my header file, I'm going to say static int get count of objects. Any method like this that is static can only access static properties. Any method can access a static property, but static methods can only access static properties. Here in our main file, I can specify cout, specify my circle, and the get count of objects. When I run it, it returns 0 because no objects have been created at this time. If I specify a circle C, however, and copy and paste this, notice that my incrementer has gone up after I've created my object. While I can call it as part of my object, I don't have to. I can specify my class name and then my method name, and that will also work because it's a static method. And that's the difference between a static method, the static properties, versus your instance properties and methods.